Okay, so hello. Hopefully everybody's doing well. I am recording this for I want to say the 10th time. Um, I'm trying to figure out how to use other programs too to make this better, but seems like the one that works best for me because it records very easily and it allows me to move some of the pictures and images that I have on my tablet here. I tried going on the laptop and I tried being on the phone, but this seems a little easier. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying them. So, I'm not speaking very loud because I know it's late and I've honestly been at it all day. Okay, so the thing is synthesizing. What is synthesizing? Well, let's go ahead and see how we figure that out. When we read, we merge new information with our prior knowledge to form new ideas. This is called synthesizing. Synthesizing is like putting the pieces of a puzzle together. We collect the pieces of information and find connection to put the pieces together so that we can see the entire picture at the end. So here we have in this slide, you can see how we have this here and they're different colors because they're different pieces. Individually, if we were to put them apart, just like you see the one here and this red one here, this one here, you see this one here, that's how they all would look. And they don't make sense because just like in a puzzle, once you start putting one, two, or three pieces together, then they start making sense, right? Here, on this picture here, we can identify that once the big pieces are together, it actually makes sense and it's a house. And when it comes to synthesizing, it's pretty much the same thing. We need various pieces of things, of ideas, thoughts, words, in order for us to come up with a new, I guess, a new form of seeing things or understanding. So here we are, going to the next slide. Synthesizing. Our thinking changes as we read. Synthesizing is using our schema, your general idea, along with all the new reading to make up some new things. Well, what we're trying to say is that when we use synthesizing, we utilize what your general idea is about a topic plus what you read about a topic, and then you create your new thinking. What does that mean? Well, let's say you're talking about bees, right? So, what do you know about bees? That they sting people, they make honey. And let's just say that that's all we know. So, on top of that, let's say we pick up a book, right? So, we pick up a book and we're going to read about this book. What is the book about? Well, it's about bees, right? So, we're going to read the book about bees and we're going to learn that, what bees have communication. We know that they have colonies and they have a queen. You know that there's a kind of like a ruler, like a president. They communicate. They do pollination. They help with with nature in that sense, and so there's a lot more to it, right? So what does that mean once you have all those two things together? We know that it gives me a new idea. Let's say that at first I wasn't too thrilled or I didn't enjoy bees as much or I didn't like bees as much. But now based on what I read, I came up there for that I actually like bees, I think bees are a very beautiful little insect and I like them now and I can enjoy them now, right? So that's my conclusion or my new way of thinking about bees, that they help the environment and that they're not just insects, right? So that's how synthesizing kind of happens. It creates you a new idea, right? A new way of thinking and seeing things. Synthesizing combines multiple reading comprehension strategies that we've learned in the past. What are some of those strategies that we've learned in the past? The strategies that we've done before are prior knowledge, basically, just stuff that we know, right? Things that we've learned through our everyday thing in life, right? At home, around us on TV, and in the school. Inferencing, what we talked about before last week. Inferencing, remember, is knowing or not knowing what the author exactly is trying to say, but identifying what they are trying to say. Get what I'm saying? Remember, inferencing was like when the author's trying to tell us something, but not using those words exactly, It's like, example of it was, and your mom walks into your room and says, well, what a mess in here. Doesn't necessarily tell you to clean up, but they're telling you that there's a mess in there, right? Also, we've done stuff like making connections, text to self. What is text to self? The connections that we made is, for example, I read a book about puppies, and based on what I know about puppies and what I experience myself, then I make that connection. Let's say I have a puppy at home. So reading a book about puppies and my puppy at home helps me bridge that connection, right? Text to text. What is text to text? Well, text to text is two books about puppies by two different authors that I pick up and I read about, right? Also, what is text to world? Well, text to world is I pick up a book about once again puppies, and I adapt that to what I've heard or seen on TV. Maybe I heard somebody talk about puppies, and I don't necessarily have one, but based on my experience interacting with a puppy, that's the world part, So summarizing is another technique that we've used in the past, which is we read something and we put it in our own words, kind of thing. All right. So those are some of the strategies we used in the past, and I won't go in detail much with them more. We just kind of went through them so we could understand that synthesizing has to do with more than one learning, right? So let's go ahead and erase that part now. We're going to the next slide. What is our thought process, right? Thought process meaning what are we actually thinking about when we're going through synthesizing, or when synthesizing is part of our, let me see if I could reduce that. I can't see that there. There you go. Let's see if we could see it still. Let's see if I can shrink it. And there you go. Well, I can shrink it, but it won't. Leave it as is. Let's see, guys. Well, I guess I'll move up the slide. But synthesizing, when synthesizing, right? Our thought process, meaning how are we making our thoughts, or how are we thinking when we're doing this type of, I guess, an activity of synthesizing. Let's go ahead and think about it, right? So let me see. Let me move it up again, the screen. Okay. Let me see. No, still need to be moved up a little bit more. Okay. The first thought, right? I thought, I don't know, let's talk about bees again. First I thought bees were just insects that sting people and make honey, right? And that's because that's all I knew, right? Now I'm thinking, this is now that I'm reading, right, a book about bees. Now I'm thinking that bees are not just insects, right? That they can help the environment. But this is while I'm reading, right? This is before my reading. Now I'm beginning to think. Now I'm beginning to think what? Because of what you know? So I'm beginning to think, meaning I'm changing my ways of thoughts, right? My idea about bees is changing now because I'm reading something. And that's because I'm reading, because I'm reading new things. That's why my ideas, and because the text that I'm reading is giving me new information, right? Because of my reading, so new info. Right? New info, information, new information. I, I'm beginning to think this. I'm beginning to think this stuff, or my mind is working, right, as I read. And it tends to happen when you're reading something, your mind starts generating thoughts and ideas. And my new ways of thoughts are being changed about just animals that bite, not animals, but insects that just bite. So now my new thinking is, my new ways of thinking, that's after I'm done reading, I come up with an actual conclusion about something, right? About bees in this case. My evidence is what? What's my evidence? Well, based on my new reading, based on my experience, I am coming with a new idea or a new thought about bees. And I come to the conclusion that, I like bees now, right? So that's how that thought process happens. Let's go ahead and close this one. Close it, move up. Let's practice. Let's see if we could do this. Let's practice. What does that mean? We need to put our general idea, our schema, plus the new reading equals new thinking, right? So this is the reading we're going to do, and it's going to be Pedro and the race. Pedro and the race. Well, let's go ahead and read that. Move this up here so you can see it. Pedro was an excellent long-distance runner. Every day after school, he trained with his coach. Pedro hoped to win a gold medal at the junior athlete meet in September. When September came, Pedro's grandmother had to go to the hospital. Pedro was very sad and didn't feel like running at the meet. However, when Pedro visited his grandmother, she smiled and encouraged him to compete. After thinking about it, Pedro decided he would give it a try. So let's go back to our other slide. What do we know? Your general idea about something is, let me see. Let me write. I know that that if I want to compete, I need to practice. I need lots of practice to compete. And that's in anything, right? Compete in anything. So that's just a thought that I know about competitions. I know that I need focus, right? Make sure that I'm focused on what I'm trying to accomplish. So if I want a gold medal, or if you want to win something, you need to stay focused, right? Stay focused, right? The other thing, let's come up with three things. I know that that I need to not give up, right? Back. Not give up. All right. So based on what I read, right now I have to put in plus what I read. I know that every day he's out there, right? Let me change the color of that. Change it to a green. Okay. That I know that Pedro is working every day. Pedro practices every day, or Pedro is out. Pedro has to practice every day, right? Also know that he feels like he doesn't want to compete anymore. Pedro doesn't want to compete anymore, right? Anymore. All right. And also we know that he wants a gold medal. We know that he wants a gold medal, or that he changes his mind, right? And he wants to do it now. First, he's practicing. His grandmother gets sick. He doesn't feel like doing it anymore. His grandmother convinces him, and that we know he's gonna compete now. He will compete. Will all right. He will compete. I don't know what the outcome is. You don't know what's gonna happen at the end, but this is all we've got, right? So now let's go ahead and change the color. Let me use pink, purple. Let's use purple. All right. So now, new way of thinking, right? I know based on, because it's a topic, right? It's about maybe kids that practice and do sports at school and do other things, right? And compete. And maybe some of you compete in sports already at home, in your own home. Maybe football, basketball, cheerleading, all that stuff. It's all that sports that you might be involved in outside of school. So, new thinking. What am I thinking? That sometimes things come up and we may lose focus, right? Sometimes things come up and we may lose focus. Also, we know it's kind of hard to write with this pen. It's kind of weird. I still can't get my penmanship right. Also, we know that we also know, I guess we could say that don't give up, right? Never give up. Never give up on a goal, right? Something you're trying to accomplish, don't give up on it. Sometimes it's hard and it's rough, but we can make that. You can make that through. Sometimes maybe we need somebody to talk to us, whether it be a relative, a friend, a counselor, a teacher, or somebody that could make us feel better about what we're doing or what's happening, right? And then we go ahead and do it. Another thing that maybe I didn't think about, or maybe you didn't think about, or something that we realized when we read this is that always kind of give yourself, make a dream, give yourself that dream too. Like he wants his gold medal, and you don't have to be a gold medal. It could be maybe passing the next quiz or finishing the homework or the assignment. As long as you create yourself a goal and you go for it, then that's what we want, right? So our new way of thinking is, let's make a goal or create a goal. Create a goal and go for it. No matter what. No matter what. Right? no matter what. We're going to go for it. We're going to try our best, and we're going to do whatever we can to accomplish it, or to even do it, So those are some of the things that we could focus and look at when doing stuff like this. All right, so let's go ahead and clear this out now and go to the next slide. This is the last slide that I have for you, but here on this slide, oh man, I got my other slides. They always have a link right here. This is a link that you go to. It's located right here in the very bottom. I can't. Once I press onto right, you won't be able to see it, but it's located right here beneath me. Beneath this, it's right here. Click on the link. Answer some of the questions. It's just 3 questions based on what this little paragraph is here, and that I will read to you. And so please, you have to just pause it here and look over some of the work. And you can always click on the link so you have 2 windows open. So make sure you go there. So let's see. Let's read it, okay? So this is a link. Once again, you can see it here. I will post it also on as a button underneath this slide. Sure, like I've done before, and all you have to do is click on that button, and it'll take you directly to the questions. So let's go ahead and don't forget also to post this, post the work on Class Dojo when you get a moment. To just show me that image that shows that you're doing this work on Class Dojo. We still have Class Dojo on there, and we're using it just because we've been using it. So use it as a resource. Also, I want to say, take a moment to tell you in this video to take 30 minutes of your day to do some Mayan reading, at least 30 minutes a day. Also, I want to see 30 minutes of interactive math and interactive learning. Please get on those things, get on the hub, use those things, use those resources, and 30 minutes a day for everyone. Imagine Math, Imagine Learning, and Mayan. All right, guys. So those 3 things on the hub. Please go on at least 30 minutes a day. Give mom and dad an opportunity to let you get on that internet and get on those apps, resources, please. Here's another part. Let me go ahead and read this story to you. The story is called Sandy Hates Baseball. Sandy hates baseball. Sandy's little brother, Nick, played baseball on Saturdays. Sandy hates going to the field and sitting in the stands. Instead of getting up at 7 o'clock, she wants to stay in bed and read science fiction novels. Nevertheless, Sandy never told her parents how she felt. When Nick was a baby, he had been very sick. Sandy knew how wonderful it was that Nick was well enough to play sports. Also, he was a really good player. So, once again, this story has to do with the link below, the link right there below. Make sure you go to the link, click on a button. It'll take you to answer some of the questions. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you liked it. I try to make them not too long. Somehow earlier it was saying they were too long on something else, another app that I was trying to do and download. Oh my God, it's been a nightmare. And not even this right now here, this font here that you see, this is not the font that I have selected. This font here is not something I wanted, but somehow, because now I guess the font's not available on this tablet, then it doesn't show you the font that I've used, and it's a lot uglier than what I wanted it to be for you. And I want to say a little less entertaining to me now than what it used to. So it kind of bugs me, because after, no matter what, of changing fonts or resizing fonts and images and pictures and some effects and stuff, it doesn't show. So it just it completely bugs me, guys. But once again, you could always pause this. You could always go back and listen to the stuff that I'm saying. Hopefully I'm doing enough to help you out to understand this topic. And please feel free to question me, ask me anything you want. Hit me up on the Class Dojo. And also, your parents should have my number. My number is there available for y'all to call me no matter what. Now that we're on here on this online thing, you could call me, get a moment, or text me or something. Y'all have my number. Your parents have my number. I know some of you, your parents have even heard my kids in the background, but now they're sleeping. But from this stuff right here is a learning experience for all of us. Please don't give up. Please keep on trying. Keep doing your best. Everything that you do here, I'm looking at it. I'm watching it. I'm making comments back at you. So hopefully you're enjoying it. Please stay safe. Stay out of trouble. Make sure you are at home, doing the right things. Make sure you keep those hands clean. Make sure you're wearing your masks if you have to walk out of the house. Stay safe. And we'll see each other soon. Okay. Take care, please. Bye bye.